Salute to everybody out there. We just did a Patreon reading on what's going on. We just talked about what's going on from the cards over on Patreon, so go check that out. But it's a lot going on right now, man. Things are getting crazy by the day. I appreciate the super chat, DSB. Yeah, things are getting crazy by the day. So let's jump right into it. I don't have all day. But there has been an assassination, for those you don't know, from a couple Minnesota lawmakers. One was an attempt, one was an actual execution. And they discovered who their number one primary suspect is, and it's Vance Luther Boelter, 57 years old, I'm sorry. He worked under Governor Tim Walz, the former vice. If Tim Walz's name is familiar, that's the former vice presidential candidate, and he worked under the previous governor in over there in Minnesota. I always get Minnesota and Wisconsin confused. Those two places are just north and they're white. I just get them confused. But he worked also under previous governor Mark Dayton. And the thing about it is, he's been a Democrat. It's not clear what his particular affiliation was, but he was appointed by Tim Walz. So he was appointed by two Democrat governors, and he's the person that's suspected of the shootings. Suspected of shooting, what's her name? John Hoffman and his wife, who's still alive, and House Speaker Melissa Hortman. And rest in peace to Melissa Hortman and her husband. There was a report earlier saying that she covered her daughter when she was shot, like her daughter's still alive. And she went to go cover her daughter. And apparently how this went down, according to the news in Minneapolis, not Minneapolis, in Minnesota, is the shooter was in a undercover police car. He went to John Hortman's house. He went to his house first. He went to John's house first, John Hoffman's house. And he shot, but he didn't kill them. Him and his wife. He shot, and according to family, no major arteries are hit, so he's still alive and looks like he's going to survive, thankfully. And so when he called the police went to other lawmakers in the area's homes, and so they went to Melissa Hortman's home, and that's where they saw the shooter's truck and confronted the shooter, and the shooter shot back and got away. But the thing is, inside the shooter's car were a whole lot of was a manifesto and a bunch of pictures, writing saying "No Kings." Let me show you Let me airdrop this to my computer. And the reason why this is interesting is today is the day of the No Kings rally, a Democrat-led rally around nationwide. This is what was in his car: No Kings. So it looks as if he could have possibly been on the way to a No Kings rally. We don't know because we haven't heard from the shooter his words. This is just my speculation. I also was reading about these two particular politicians, and what I read was from people in the area saying that they were traditionally Republican-leaning Democrats. That's just what I read. We're just putting this shit together right now. I don't know what's going on, but I do want to make sure that I report on what's going on, because this is a lot. It's a Three of Diamonds day, and it's a very politically charged day. It's a very politically charged day because you also have these nationwide protests that are going on. Let's look through Twitter and see what they're talking about over on Twitter. Okay. The white folks are already going at Tim Walz saying he needs to resign. Okay, oh, this him. Okay, so here we got here. This is interesting. This is interesting. It says state of Minnesota. This is him being on the development board. So we're dealing with somebody who's worked hand in hand with the Democrat Party. But at the same time, they're saying, "Oh, that's what they're saying." By that, I see what they're saying. I see what they're saying. She voted to cut healthcare access,
and I'm.
Oh, okay. So she was siding with Republicans. So look at this.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote, and I'm. We worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
DFL Speaker Emerita Melissa Hortman emotional following the House's adjournment from a special session Monday. Hortman was the lone DFL lawmaker to cast a vote to cut Minnesota Care access for undocumented immigrants. It's a move she made with a heavy heart.
I did what leaders do. I stepped up and I got the job done for the people of Minnesota.
The bill was deeply unpopular with members of the DFL caucus. Members have repeatedly expressed frustration that the bill was part of a compromise, one that would ensure the necessary GOP votes to pass the rest of the state budget.
We are tremendously disappointed and gut-wrenched at this decision, at this compromise that compromises our communities that are most vulnerable.
Hortman knows she let down her own caucus members with the vote.
They're right to be mad at me. I think some of them are pretty angry. I think that their job was to make folks who voted for that bill feel like crap, and I think that they succeeded.
Over in the Senate, a similar situation unfolded. Senate Majority Leader Erin Murphy forced to vote for a bill she too disagreed with to uphold the integrity of their compromise.
This one hurt.
So we have a Democrat that voted to cut off health care to undocumented people for the betterment of her state. Wow, which is that's what I would hope my politicians do. I would hope if there has to be a cut made, they cut the people who ain't put it in the pot. That's she put on her. That was a bold decision for her to make. And you see how she was torn because she wants to build her party. So now that adds another layer to this. We have the whole undocumented thing, no kings thing going in with this thing. This is weird, yo. Let's keep watching.
This one is a wound because of its reason. My colleagues across the aisle set this as their number one priority.
Asked whether the move would drive a wedge between her and the rest of her caucus, her DFL colleague, Senator John Marty, quickly stepped to her defense.
As a member of the caucus, yes, sir, she clearly was fighting against that every step of the way. In the negotiations, if we wanted a budget, we had to agree to that. She agreed to put up one vote for us because of that.
Reporting in St. Paul.
Wow, so I see what they mean by right-leaning Democrat. It's just that, oh, wow, okay. And so they're saying that this person says that Minnesota Governor Vance Luther Boelter was a former military, anti-abortion, Christian nationalist. Everything about him is leaning towards left-leaning Democrat. And you see here, they're trying to say he's right-wing, but his political... Oh, what's up, DeJuan? His political affiliation seems to be left-leaning. And he's at these No Kings rallies going on. Now let's see what's going on. Let's check in on some of these No Kings rallies that are going on right now. The No Kings is basically, for those who don't know, that's basically a bunch of white folks crying and about liberals, about Donald Trump's so far totalitarian style of governance. And so they're basically mad, at Trump and his executive orders. They didn't care when Joe Biden, I don't know what the hell's going on. They didn't care when Joe Biden was going around doing the same damn executive orders, throwing rainbows all over the goddamn place. That was fine. That's why, man, look, I'm not in this shit. These people can fight all goddamn day for all I care. Fight till you're blue in the face. I don't give a fuck. This ain't my fight. But it is interesting to see these protests going on. This nigga making fat niggas look bad. DC nigga, sit your ass down. You making fat niggas look bad. So we got these are basically the Donald Trump protests. They're protesting all Donald Trump. Let's see what it's looking like in Detroit. These are all anti-Trump protests. But you see what's going to happen. What's going to happen is the media is going to flip this because 2 Democrats were killed. The media is going to flip this into a right-winger did this to some left-wingers. But that won't fly. That won't fly. Because the dude literally worked for Tim Walz.
Standing up to ICE, the LAPD, and the...
Oh, shit. They done found on Detroit. They done found a sister to talk.
National Guard.
Estamos aquí en solidaridad con la gente de Los Ángeles que se están enfrentando con la policía y con ICE.
We know that ICE can and will be used against anyone Trump sees as a threat.
Sabemos que ICE lo van a
They got
usar
somebody speaking in Spanish
contra
too.
cualquier persona que Trump vea como daño.
Don't be this black person.
Whether they are citizens or not. This is why we must demand that the city of Detroit, the city of Detroit becomes a sanctuary city.
Van a usar ICE contra cualquier persona, por
You
eso
a goddamn
demandamos
fool,
que la
lady.
ciudad de Detroit sea una ciudad santuario.
We must demand that the city and all cooperation between ICE,
This looks like a fairly-
DPD, and Trump.
Exigimos que no esté...
We must
Can't no rally. Look at the motherfucker digging in his nose right here.
exigimos que la ciudad
Can't no rally survive if one person talking. Man, this is like a goddamn Canelo Alvarez post-fight conference. What happened? How'd you win the fight, Canelo? Well, okay, Jim. He said that he executed the right hook into a left, and he ducked the right, and he countered that with his left jab, and he. Okay, cool. So, do you think you want to fight this fighter again? He says that he wants to take time off and reassess his options and see who it is he wants to fight next. He's not sure who he wants to fight next. Well, will we see you in the ring with Felix Trinidad? Well, he says that he's going to take time off, and he don't know he may fight Oscar instead. It's like a post-game fight. You be ready to rally, like, let's go. Then person be like can you imagine? Like, you're not going to get anything out of that. You're over here saying, we need to fight for immigration. We need to make sure everybody's okay. We want to make sure. Okay, hold on. And half the crowd is like, and the other ones is like, yeah? Yes, and we will demand justice from Donald Trump, and we're gonna, okay, Donald Trump, Like, all right, nigga, the momentum is gone. There's no, like, you're not, like, I'm just telling y'all, the reason why things in the civil rights movement progressed the way they did was because whether it was Medgar Evers, Malcolm X, Paul Robeson, Muhammad Ali, Dr. King, everybody in the country knew exactly, they were very clear. And everybody in the country knew exactly what was being said. You didn't hear no, I have a dream that one day we'll all come together. Black man and oh no. Dream. Get together. That black children and white children will judge each other on the content of their character and not the color of their. Hold on. Moreno. It wouldn't have worked. That shit would not have worked. We didn't land on Plymouth Rock. Landed on, hold on. Plymouth Rock. It landed on queso. Yeah, so what we need to do is John F. Kennedy. I'm telling y'all, man, it's tacky. Like what Neely Fuller said. Like, our interactions with the dominant society and others is tacky at best. This is what Dr. King meant when he said, I fear I'm integrating my people into a burning house. Look at this shit. When we were once, when you had United States citizens who had been United States citizens for ever since there was a United States, going back, that's the part that I like to leave out when it comes to the African thing, this whole African slave trade, that we're African American. They always leave out the fact that most quote unquote African Americans were here in 1776. There was no United States in 1775. There were colonies. There was no United States in 1775. It became the United States in 1776. And the black people that traced their lineage back to slavery were all on this land at that time. Because if you talk about the African slave trade, for the 388,000 that happened between 1620 and 1808. That was a damn near 200-year period that about 300,000 came over. Everybody else was here. And out of that 300,000 that came, the overwhelming majority was here before 1776. So even if they did come from Africa, they were on this plot of land when it started being called the United States of America. Whether they came from Africa, whether they came from England, whether they came from, wherever they came from, they was living in Georgia, Virginia, somewhere over in that area in 1776, when this place became named the United States of America. And they were asking and marching for rights for the place that they had been standing. They were not carrying foreign flags saying, let's bust into somewhere new. And when it comes to this whole No King's Day thing, it's crazy how it's No King's Day rally when it affect you. Black people been living under a monarchy of kings since we've been here. George Washington was a king when it came to us. Remember, it was George Washington that said in 1799, right before he left office, that slaves because when the United States came, slaves weren't supposed to be permanent. When a lot of us black folks fought side by side in the Revolutionary War, when this country was being put together by black people alongside of white people like Benjamin Banneker, like not John Hancock, uh, John Henson, and the other black folks that was here in Philadelphia, the slavery thing was supposed to be different. It was one of the last moves, and you learn this in Dr. Claude Anderson's books, one of the last moves that George Washington made was to say that, oh yeah, in this new United States, slavery is permanent, meaning your kids will be born into it. It wasn't no democracy then for us. Y'all was fine. It wasn't no democracy when Rutherford B. Hayes in 1877 decided to pull the troops and end Reconstruction. As a matter of fact, the Southern Compromise, in order to make Rutherford B. Hayes president, the Southern Compromise was us. We were the compromise. The whole country agreed. All right, we're going to end this stalemate between who's going to be president by letting the niggas, by protecting all the protections that we made, all the promises we gave black people in the 1868 Civil Rights Movement, in the 1870 through 72, the 1868 through 72 Civil Rights Movement. We're going to take all that shit. That's the compromise. It ain't never been no goddamn democracy when it come to us. Now, because y'all feel a certain way, because the president ain't letting you be a goddamn freak, at least on paper, you can be a freak all you want, but you're either a man or you're a woman. Because of the man, because he's doing that now, all of a sudden, it's no kings. Man, fuck y'all too. I don't like Donald Trump either. I don't like Donald Trump, and I don't like y'all either. Y'all full of shit. Y'all are full of shit. The report came out, the report from the FBI a few months ago, it showed that the overwhelming majority of victims of racial violence is black Americans. Overwhelming majority. I think we had something like 1,200 anti-black crimes against us, and the next group down was like Latinos, like at 500, less than half. You couldn't find anti-LGBTQ and anti-Asian on the list next to us in comparison to us. All that shit was cool. It's still cool. But President Trump say you can't, we're going to get rid of the gas mandate. Oh, no kings. And look at this. This is like, they're like the biggest crop of weirdos on earth. Look at her. This is just like a cesspool of fucking weirdos.
Okay, I'm gonna walk briskly.
All this is going on when the person that aided the last two Democrats in Minnesota just killed lawmakers. Let's see who else got this shit going. Let's see what the one in LA talking about. ABC 7. Let's see what this one. Oh, they running their mouth.
Meantime, there are protests not just.
What the fuck, man? I've been having major internet issues lately. No. Streaming and broadcasting at the same time has been a bitch. Let's see this other one over here. Okay. This is L.A. All I know is they better not be where I'm going today.
4-minute warning, Chris. 4-minute warning. What
the hell's going on? They look like they're downtown.
California minutes.
Okay, so it's pretty big out here. One Wilshire. I know where they are. They're downtown, not too far from where those riots were. But this is an area that generally, unless you got business over there, you ain't gonna be over there. They still got Mexican flags up.
There's another one. I mean, let's be a little bit more precise in what you're talking about.
All right. Look at this. So they're showing up here in LA for this No Kings rally. What do y'all think Tom Homan and Donald Trump's response is going to be to this? Because them white boys ain't going to stop.
Oh, there's a great sushi restaurant. Let me double check. Yeah, there's
a
great sushi
restaurant. Oh, that's, what's his name talking?
Like a fantastic sushi. Probably not. Yeah, it might be open.
What's his name?
Maybe not
the dude talking. He's funny as hell. Yeah.
2 minutes.
Okay, so you got a lot going on here. I wonder if they're gonna bring up that violent.
Is that another big sign? What is that one?
I wonder if they're gonna bring up that violent thing that happened in Minnesota today while they at this
I don't think
rally.
we've seen this one, have we?
Now this is what needs. Now, look, I'm not gonna say what needs to happen, but this, I'm not mad at this particular sheriff. I don't know, y'all saw the short that I put up the other day of that sheriff.
Patrol.
Let's go back and watch what he had to say, because I can't say that I'm mad at this. There was this sheriff in Brevard County, Florida. When I checked on the map, that looked like it was somewhere outside of Orlando on the water front. So I don't know the racial demographic of that area up there, just outside of Orlando. But I want y'all to hear what he had to say. Yeah, man, I gotta stop being lazy and call and just cancel this goddamn AT&T internet and go back to Spectrum. I gotta stop being lazy and doing this shit. I be so goddamn busy. I don't think about doing it until I come live. I don't ever think about doing it, and then I come live, and they be like, "Oh shit, here we go again." Yeah, they gonna freeze this shit right when I'm. See, everything else is moving fine. Come on now. Are y'all goddamn serious?
The doxing issue that we were talking about. Our ICE agents, just like our Florida Highway.
See, look, it got going when I clicked off the screen, and then when I clicked back on the screen, it stopped. What the fuck? The minute I clicked off the screen, it got going. Nah, this ain't my internet. This is y'all fucking with me. But I do want to make this point as to why you have these rallies going on in downtown and nothing's happening, like what they talk about here in Florida. I do want to make this. Here it is. Wait.
We all
watch this. I'll make the
together
point.
in this. We all are out here to make sure that we're protecting our citizens, protecting our communities. Many of them have been called to the border. Many of them have been called to other locations to deal with the amount of fugitives and things that are going on, detainers. So for us, we will have their back. We will work closely with Colonel Howes and his team and making sure that we're increasing patrol, we're watching them. Anybody that's doxing them, as the General said, we passed a law about 4 or 5 years ago that makes it illegal to dox here in the state of Florida. So anybody that's doing that, we will take them to full task on doing it. We will stand with you. I want to define a couple things, and our General was very kind in how he said things. I'm not as usually as elegant in how I say things. So I'm gonna first say that peaceful protests are part of our democracy. We invite people to share their opinions. That's what our country is all about. The key word in that is peaceful. And if it's peaceful, us in law enforcement are going to make sure you have a safe environment to do it in. That's part of that process. If you let it turn violent, you do not want to do that in Brevard County. I'm going to tell you that, and I believe I can speak for my fellow sheriffs around the rest of the state. You don't want to let it happen. And just so there's no confusion, because I don't want to hear any whining later saying we didn't know, I'm going to break it down for you, all right? Because as you watch these riots unfold across the rest of the country, what you are seeing is buildings being burned down, police cars being bricked, having explosive devices thrown on them, having fire, guns pointed at them, bricks thrown at them, all and on. So I'm gonna break it down for you, all right? And if somebody wants to know what I mean by turn violent, all right, this is what I mean. If you resist lawful orders, you're going to jail. Let me be very clear about that. If you block an intersection or a roadway in Brevard County, you are going to jail. If you flee arrest, you're going to go to jail tired, because we are going to run you down and put you in jail. If you try to mob rule a car in Brevard County, gathering around it, refusing to let the driver leave, in our county, you're most likely going to get run over and dragged across the street. If you spit on us, you're going to the hospital and in jail. If you hit one of us, you're going to the hospital and jail, and most likely get bitten by one of our big, beautiful dogs that we have here. If you throw a brick, a firebomb, or point a gun at one of our deputies, we will be notifying your family where to collect your remains at, because we will kill you graveyard dead.
Graveyard dead!
This has got to stop. You're watching what's taking place out there. You're seeing police officers that are being attacked, being spit on, being put in harm's way just for doing their jobs. You're seeing ICE agents that are being targeted for doing their jobs. And you're seeing obstructionists that are doing all of this, standing in the way of law and order. Not here, not in the state of Florida. So to make it real simple, if you don't want to have any of those things happen to you, obey the law. Go protest all you want. Do it peacefully. Stand on the mountaintops and yell your opinion, your views. We invite that. But don't you dare break the law, because it won't go well for you. All right? Jim, thank you, sir.
See, look, that's the America I know. For people who are new to this country, or for you people who are like under the age of like 30, you people under the age of 30, y'all was raised in a pussified America, right? And the 1992 riots had a hell of a lot to do with that. Before LA set shit off on fire in 1992, you gotta realize these people didn't just become nice. Hold on a second. These people just didn't become nice through osmosis. They didn't just one day wake up like, oh, we're going to allow you to peacefully protest all this shit you seeing with all these rallies and people throwing stuff. That did not just happen. Like, people really bucked up on the police in LA, and that just made, not just LA, you had the LA riots, like I said on the other show, you had the Ruby Ridge Rebellion in 1992. That's when them white folks took over that land in the Ruby Ridge in one of the fucking white states, and the police came in on them and shot some people up. After that, you had Waco, Texas, that got burned down. What happened was a lot of those white supremacist groups were like in the 90s. If you're around in the 90s, like if you're under 30, you're too young to know. But if you go back to the 90s, press number one if you remember all the goddamn the federal building getting bombed. They was bombing police stations. They was bombing abortion clinics. I mean, these mother in the early 90s, especially early 90s, man, it was bombs over motherfucking Baghdad in the United States of America. Like, citizens were really bucking up. So when people be like, and then you see what's happening today. These two lawmakers got, unfortunately, they got, one of them got killed. One of them still survived. You look at Gretchen Whitmer in Minnesota. Y'all remember about 6-7 years ago, there was a whole plot to kidnap the governor of Minnesota, Gretchen Whitmer. The lady that looks like a goddamn Lifetime mammy. She's Gretchen Whitmer. Let's look this up. Do y'all remember that? There was a whole plot. And if you look at her, Gretchen Whitmer, she looked like these were the white men that were accused of being ready to kidnap her. And she looks like she bakes goddamn gingerbread cookies on Lifetime and then cut a nigga's dick off. Don't she look like the Lifetime mama? Like the Lifetime cheater? She was being targeted by these bozos. You see a mullet. Anytime you see a mullet, you know it's some hanky-panky shit. You got a cross-eyed weirdo here. And these 10 white dudes got together and had a full-on plan to kidnap her. The reason why people generally peacefully protest in America is because America got a lot of goddamn crazy motherfuckers. It ain't just NWA. God damn it. It ain't just NWA. They put a hit on her. Shit was wild. So because the 90s, especially early 90s, Million Man March, all that stuff going on, it's because the late 80s and the early 90s was so combustible, America had to calm its tactics back down. Because America had carte blanche in the 60s, but it was black people in the 60s that bucked up. And that got the government. You didn't see the government doing all kind of crazy shit in the 70s. Because niggas had bucked up in the 60s. You didn't see much crazy shit in the 70s. Because one, niggas bucked up. Two, niggas got government jobs. Now, y'all taking away the government jobs. Y'all giving AI the jobs. And international people. So people ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah, OKC bombing, all that shit. So I see the younger people saying, this isn't right. The Constitution, these people are, what's wrong? Nigga, this is America, Jack. Learn where you live. Just because it hasn't been like this in the 2000s don't mean, look, y'all really thought America changed? Fuck out of here. I appreciate the Cash App, Jeremy. Appreciate the Cash App. Yeah. And now you got another entitled Democrat that was mad that something didn't go his way, so he go and kill a politician. And salute, rest in peace to that politician. She had a lot of courage to stand up to her party to stand. Because right now, Americans are fucking crazy and stupid. They're willing to cut off their own resources to help people who don't even belong here. And she stood up and said no. And she may have paid her life for that decision. We don't know because he hasn't been caught yet, but he is on the run. And he did have, he had a manifesto and he had a bunch of paperwork referencing today's No Kings rallies around the country. But y'all got to remember, man, America started with the Boston Tea Party. The Boston Tea Party is what really got shit. Well, you got Bacon's Rebellion also. Like, America just rebellious. the Stoner Rebellion, Bacon's Rebellion, the Boston Tea Party. We can go down the line. America can't go 30 years without some kind of revolution, even during slavery. You had the draft riots. You had the fair wage protests, the unions. I mean, America is one cracking ass country. This place is wild. And I'm with you right there, May Duffy. I'm glad that post-racial era is over, right? The whole we're post-racial era, that shit's over with. America cannot go 30 years without fucking up or fucking somebody up. Yeah, Dora, my people stay safe. That's why black folks, we gotta stay out of this. Don't be going to them rallies. Look, this particular assassin, I'm sure had they not got his card and everything, I'm sure he would have showed up to one of those rallies and done something crazy. He's on the run now, but this shit is crazy out here. Stay home. And I did a reading as to how crazy it is over on Patreon. Y'all gotta go over on Patreon to get the reading that I did. Over on that. Oh, okay. I saw a report drop here on ABC that they have the guy's hit list. They said dozens of Minnesota Democrats were on a targeted list written by the gunman who allegedly shot and killed state representatives. They said Tim Walz was on the list. So was Ilya and Omar and Tina Smith. Oh, and also Keith Ellison. Tap dancing ass nigga. Keith Ellison came in as a Muslim for the people. Now, I don't know what kind of Muslim Keith Ellison, one of those fried pork eating Muslims, I guess. See the way his ass pivoted. So he had a hit list of multiple people. And Tim Walz was on the hit list. These are the kind of people that are elected to governance. I'm not elected, selected, because he was appointed by Tim Walz and the previous governor. This stone cold killer was selected to be a part of the Minnesota state government. And they talk about us. Black man with a squeaky clean record, master's degree, can't get a job at Walmart. A motherfucking white stone cold killer, allegedly, can get a job at the top of governance. That's America. And you notice, these are the people that's always targeting them, but they keep their attention on us. This nigga Rocky over here passed out. You all right, Rocky? This nigga over here snoring like a motherfucker. FBA Strong said it. He said, we watch, we laugh, we don't care until our reparations are here. They can hold their own nuts and declining birth rates. Yeah. You all right, Rocky? You see this bullshit going on, Rocky? We send out that bullshit, all right? We send out the bullshit, Rocky. You see, these niggas is crazy. What's up, baby boy? Ain't none of that licking shit going on now. But we send out the bullshit, all right, Rocky? We gonna let these motherfuckers do what they do, and me and you gonna be over here chilling. I'll be giving you doggy snacks, and I'll be eating my popcorn, all right? You cool with that, Rocky? That's right, baby boy. That's right, baby boy. That's right, baby boy. Well, me and Rocky about to get the fuck up out of here, y'all. Stay safe, Americans. Understand that this is what's going on. This is what they wanted. White folks picked Trump. Latinos picked Trump. The other folks that didn't pick Trump picked Kamala Harris. Neither were people that was going to help us out, and nobody gave a damn. Kamala was going to give more benefits to them folks. Trump wants to give more benefits to his folks. Wasn't nobody, including Trump, for you right-wing leaning niggas, wasn't none of them people talking to us. So they can fight it out. All right? Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. Get my music course at dewanb.com. Hit the Cash App. Oh, yeah. Before we go, we do got to remind black people this one thing before we got here. Whereas we got to remind all y'all of this right here. Let me see. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Before we got here. You got to get your t-shirts. Look, black people, we don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. We got these t-shirts and hoodies right now at dewanb.com. Get yours and remind people this summer. Get one in white, get one in gray, get your summertime clothes. So you can remind, this is about to be a popping ass summer. Appreciate that, brother, man, the super chat. Says showing support. Much love, appreciate you. But we must, much love to everybody. But wear it on your chest this summer. Remind everybody as this country gets cracking off, black people don't owe anybody anything but an ass whooping. All right? Y'all have a good one.